Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. With my wife and kids, we run an antique shop in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, filled with some of the most unique items we can find. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
Home, honey.
Hi everyone, and welcome to tonight's video. It is actually not all that late. It's 6:30 at night, just after dinner, but it's pitch black outside, which is so crazy. In summertime, it is daylight, like mid-afternoon sort of daylight, almost until 10 p.m. And then in winter, it gets dark really early. But it is dark out, and I'm gonna go see one of our customers, Tom, who's invited me over today to view his collection. Now, I do lots of videos where I go and I buy stuff, but this is kind of different. Although Tom says he might consider selling his collection, I can really get a chance to go and see where some of the stuff I sell to people goes. So let's go check out Tom's collection and go visit the collector and see what he's done with his collection of stuff. Let's go for a little ride. I've had to be pretty careful driving, but look at this. They've turned the lamppost into a candy cane. That's pretty creative, don't you think? It's not Christmas anymore, but it's still nice to see this time of year. Almost there. Well, I've arrived. Let's go knock on the door and see if Tom's home. And here's Tom. How's it going, Tom?
Good. How are you, Alec?
I'm really good. I'm so pleased you invited me over to come and see your collection today. I'm excited. You kind of showed me a couple pictures at the store and it looked pretty darn amazing. But when I look around the house, I mean, it's very tastefully decorated and you've got your Christmas tree up, and it's Ukrainian Christmas tomorrow, I think, so we're still good. Mm-hmm. But I don't see a lot of collectibles, other than, you know, you got the beautiful old stand-up console radio here.
It still works too.
And still works. Does it have the magic eye on it? Yeah, I guess it would have had that little sort of light that went on there. That's really cool. But so where are you keeping all the good stuff at?
In the basement.
Okay, well, I'm ready to see, because you bought a few die-cast cars from me when we had all those Hot Wheels come in, and you said you kind of collect a few cars here and there. Yeah. So I'm kind of into old cars too, so I guess I'll follow your lead. You lead the way and I'll follow you.
I even bought some records from you to add to my collection. I'll show you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so the pictures never really show what it truly is until you actually see it firsthand, so.
Well, right now, I wouldn't expect there to be a whole lot of stuff, but you're saying you've got a bit of a man cave going on?
Yeah, this is the toy room. Just a second, my little doggy.
Oh, what's your dog's name?
That's Jackie O.
Jackie O, like Jackie Onassis?
That's right.
I don't see, she doesn't have the sunglasses on though, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
The toy room.
The toy room.
Whoa!
So this is the start.
The start?
Yeah.
This would be the finish for most people. Look at all this. This is like toy heaven down here. And I'm noticing a bit of a theme. I see Corvette, Corvette, Corvette.
Yeah, it's basically Corvettes and muscle cars.
Corvette, okay.
Sort of heavily on the Corvettes. I'm a Corvette nut, so own a couple myself, and have been in the Corvette club since '78. Currently president, but
78, wasn't that their jubilee or their anniversary?
25th anniversary, yeah.
Was that what got you started? You said, hey, look at all these silver Corvettes driving around.
No, I finally could afford to buy one at that time, so that was when I started.
Oh, okay. Did you buy an anniversary vet at that time?
No, I bought an old 66 Corvette because it was just a used car back then.
Oh, the stories. Do you still have it?
No.
Oh.
I've had about 25 to 30 Corvettes since then.
Oh, and we're talking full size. We're not talking these little guys here.
No, we're talking full size.
You could ride around. Wow. Okay. But you still have, okay, maybe we'll get a tour of the garage after all this too, but look at all this.
Keep coming. This is only
Well, hang on, but there's stuff.
I know.
There's a half a Corvette. Where on earth did you get the Corvette couch?
That is an actual wrecked 59 Corvette that got built and made into a couch.
So that wasn't some
fiberglass
aftermarket?
No. I was a partner in a Corvette shop. And my partner made it. And when he shut down the shop, I was just there at the right time. I said, what are you doing with the couch? He says, selling it. So I said,
wow.
How much? He told me. I wrote a check. What's neat about it is most couches, they don't have tires and rims on them.
Wait, does this have tires on it?
Yeah, so it has...
Oh, look at that. They've cut the tires in half.
It has a Corvette hubcap, wheel, and tire cut in half, so it has a wheel and tire and hubcap on each side.
Oh, they went all out.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so those are like actual signal lights and the whole taillights. Wow, that's so cool.
Then I had Dave Dunbar, a well-known local pinstriper.
I know Dave. Dave's a friend of mine.
He pinstriped this for me.
That's Ace Fine Lines. Actually, Dave is the one who did the murals on my building for me.
There you go.
Look, Dave, I'm here.
Yes.
Visiting the Corvette that you did. Yeah, Dave's an awesome guy. I call him Rock and Roll Dave because he collects rock t-shirts and memorabilia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. But I'm lost. I'm looking all around, and we're going to have to get the full tour and scope. But in this room alone, I mean, look at all the die-casts. And I remember many years ago, Melissa and I had a store that sold die-cast cars. And I know that these weren't cheap even then. But you've got the Indianapolis versions. I mean, is there anything that you don't have?
Well, it's the collection as we go through, you'll see is in sort of sections. I sort of think it's like a little mini museum. I'm curator of a museum. So like this is the movie car TV section. There's pace car section. I've got a section for GTOs and Firebirds, a Chevelle section, a Mopar section, Shelby, Corvette, 50s, race cars.
It's super organized, but you're saying there's more than this one room, because I'm going to have to come back, because, I mean, I'm seeing stuff like, you've got the, who autographed it? Candy Clark?
Yeah, I've got Candy Clark's autograph, Paul Lamette, who was Milner, and Bo Hopkins. And then I got autograph by Suzanne Summer, a picture.
Wow. And you not only do you find the rare collectible vehicle, but you also get it autographed by the person who was in the movie, or...
Yep.
Wow.
And there's a lot of stuff autographed. We'll go through it in more detail. These are autographed by Tom Wampat and Daisy Duke.
Okay.
This is autographed by Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And then there's Olivia Newton-John, John Travolta, autographed pictures.
See, now, I was a big fan of Back to the Future as a kid, and Dukes of Hazzard as well. Yeah. I mean, you know, who wasn't a kid in the 80s and watched Back to the Future or Dukes of Hazzard? But that car autographed by Michael J. Fox, what a cool piece. Okay, before I drool all over your floor here, let's continue.
Let's continue, because you've only just started.
Well, it's a pretty big room. I can see you've got lots going on over here.
It takes up about 1,500 square feet of my basement.
Wait a minute. It turns?
It turns. Keep coming.
What? Okay. All right. You got me. This is your basement, but to me, this is like a fully stocked store.
Yeah, I could probably start my own toy store.
You could. Well, if somebody really likes Corvettes, you'd be really well set. But look at the...
There's muscle cars. And
you got all kinds of stuff.
There's 50s.
Is that one of those Jim Beam decanters down there?
Yeah.
I recognize those.
Yeah, and there's another Jim Beam decanter up there, a Corvette one, of course.
Oh, yeah. That's actually, you know, Jim Beam does some pretty cool things. Oh, you've got the old Mark's playset there, the tin playset.
Yeah, I had one when I was a kid, and of course it got waylaid over the years.
Wow. Well, when you go all in, you don't mess around. You've even got the original Mattel Hot Wheel rack from the 80s.
Yeah.
Let's see, what was the big thing back then? Barbie, Polly Pocket, Nickelodeon, and of course Hot Wheels. This has got to be from maybe 1991 or so. Where'd you score the Hot Wheels rack?
I find all the stuff at swap meets, the Wild Rose Antique Show.
Okay.
I'd stop at antique shops. I've been down to the States to a bunch of swap meets and things, and so I look anywhere. I find stuff at Home Hardware, at car dealerships. Wherever I see something, I buy it, if I think it's good for my collection.
Do you ever ask them, hey, if you're going to throw out that display, I could use it?
Unfortunately, I've never... Well, that's how I got one display I'll show you. I even have a Barbie vet. You got to have a Barbie vet with Barbie.
Oh, yeah. Nothing says early 90s opulence like Barbie in a pink Corvette.
Yep.
And look, it's fitting, too. It's the fun zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's cool.
Another Hot Wheel display.
If you have a bad habit, I guess you'd have to enter the none zone because of the habits. Yuck, yuck. Oh, another Hot Wheel display there.
Yeah.
Wow, and I'm lost because there's so many cool little Hot Wheel cars and okay. But it keeps going.
Keeps going.
What? Okay, hang on. We were just over here a minute ago. We were over here and I was going, wow, look at this, pretty cool. Look at all this stuff. And I'm all lost and amazed and stuff. There's a little miniature A&W over there. And then we turned the corner and I'm like, wow. And you're telling me there's even more?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep following you.
Christmas trees.
Wow, now there's a way to decorate your tree.
Those are all a Hallmark.
Lincoln Futura. That's what they turned into the Batmobile.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the Futura, and I can't remember the name of the guys. There's some custom shop. They have a TV show, maybe Count Customs or something like that. Yeah. And they remade one of those. It was one of the coolest cars I think they did was remaking that Futura. But yeah, George Barris got a hold of that and turned it into the Batmobile.
For $1 and sold it to the movie studio.
Yeah, geez, if only I could be so lucky to get a Batmobile full-size one for $1 or something.
This is just TV show stuff.
Oh yeah, speaking of Batmobiles, there's one there.
Yeah.
You can see the styling cues. Those are all cool. Are those like Hallmark ornaments? Or
mostly Hallmark. Okay. This one just came out this year. I thought this one was so cool.
Though we may never know who he is behind that mask of his, thank goodness he's there when a crisis befalls us.
Isn't that neat?
Yes, Commissioner. Right away. To the Bat Rolls. Oh boy, let's go!
Isn't that funny? That's pretty cool. You found that locally or online?
That's just, I'm on the name list at Hallmark Gold Store.
So. Oh, so they give you a call and
they call me, and here's the ones I think you want. And...
Well, I can tell why they've been calling you. You've been their biggest customer. Yeah. I mean, if you bought one a year, you'd have to be 400 years old to fill up that Christmas tree. But how could you resist getting such cool little things like that? Well, I'll almost have to paint the dog up to look like your pooch.
Well, the first one I got was for my 40th birthday. And this had just come out. They just started the series with the Corvette. So my wife got it for me. And then my neighbor got me one. And it turned out it's the only year they had 2 different colored Christmas trees. One was got in the States and one was got here in Canada.
Oh, I see. It's so funny that even the variance of the color of a Christmas tree and a Hallmark ornament can make all the difference to a collector.
Yeah.
See, those are those variations that people who don't collect probably don't understand, that like, oh, geez, if you got that one, you got to get the other one too.
It's as one friend called me, I'm an organized hoarder.
Oh, well, hey, I'd be happy to stumble into a hoard like this. And look at all the model kits here.
Yeah, unbuilt. I thought I'd spend a happy retirement, high smelling glue all the time building these, but I haven't.
But so, these go way back.
Yeah, some of these, like 69 Corvette.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a 59 El Camino. Is that original?
No, that's a
okay, I was going to say.
But these are original 63 Corvette kit, 61 Corvette kit, Mako Shark original kit.
You got the Austin Powers Corvette too?
Yeah.
Felicity Shagwell.
And I've got it also in my die-cast as well as a Jaguar.
The Jaguar.
Yeah.
Hey, I almost have a Jaguar. Yeah. I don't plan on repainting it like the Union flag or anything, but look at this. What a beautiful collection of Corvettes. Somebody out there is probably drooling just watching all this. And you've even got the 1/8 scales too.
All the 1/8 scale that came out for the 65. It came out in black, metallic blue, red, and regular blue.
Wow.
And then a friend gave me this because that's what the Corvette was named after, was a battleship.
You know, you're a serious collector and you like Corvettes, and you even get the battleship 1/72 scale. That's actually a pretty big kit when it's put together.
Yeah, a friend of mine gave that to me.
Like,
I get friends giving me stuff that, you know, because they know my passion for Corvettes.
And you've got pedal Corvettes too?
Yeah, pedal Corvettes.
It looks like Buzz and Woody are taking a ride in the Corvette today.
Yeah, I had to get Buzz and Woody. I like them.
You've got the slot cars, the Thunderjets that came out back in the early 2000s.
And then Corvette ties. The original Edmonton Speedway and Cobra Raceway posters.
Oh yeah, stock car racing 1980.
Yeah, that's 1978 for Speedway.
Yeah, they used to do Can-Am races here too. Yeah, it's advertising it, but they hadn't done that. When did they stop? Mid 70s or something?
Yeah, I've got a autograph of Al Holbert and signing it for me, and because forget what year it was, in the 80s, the Corvette Club supplied the driver cars for the driver parade, and I got to take Al Holbert around in my Corvette at that time for the Can-Am race.
Well, how fun is that?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I guess
that's autographed by John Force.
Oh yeah, John Force. He's a major force
in
racing, that man.
And then it keeps coming down to here.
What? Hang on. There's a slot car set in here.
Yeah.
That's 1/32 scale. I can tell it's big. Is it scale electric?
Carrera.
Carrera, okay.
That's new. It's not.
Well, yeah, I know, but look how cool it is. This just makes me want to sit down here and play for a while.
Yeah.
So do you have grandkids?
Yeah, 2. I actually have 5.
You've got 5 grandkids.
Yeah, so we have fun. Even my kids love playing down here.
I could imagine. If it was me, I'd be spending pretty much all of my waking minutes down here with my boys racing. Maybe that's something I've got to do in my place is set aside some room for a race car track. But, you know, as the kids are getting older, though, they're interested in, you know, getting a pool table. So we'll have to see. But I'm looking around and I see that you've got these Corvettes are kind of separated in their own case. Who do you have them signed by?
Okay, the number 614 Corvette was originally raced in '63 by Bob Bondurant, and then it was vintage raced by Vic Edelbrock Jr. And I went to the Monterey Historic races in 2013. Corvette was a featured mark, and I'm walking around with a duffel bag of about 6 or 7 Corvettes in it, because I know some of these guys are going to be there, and I want to meet them and get their autographs. So you don't realize how heavy those are when you're walking around for a couple hours with a bunch of 1/18 scale in the duffel bag. So that's signed by Bob Bondurant and Vic Edelbrock Jr. This was raced originally by Dick Goldstrand, who I've met, and he's actually raced my Corvette at one of our Corvette weekends, and he autographed that too. And I've seen those on eBay or on advertising on the internet for like $1,000 without autographs.
So this vehicle right now, and because they were limited edition, they didn't make a whole lot.
That's Exoto Moto Box. There weren't a lot of them.
No, I remember these were expensive when they were new.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It might have been what, $200 or something new maybe, and then you got an autograph. So now retail value. This is where I put the little line here, like Antiques Roadshow, valued $1,000 to $1,500, something like that. Well, isn't that nice? But, you know, this stuff is kind of priceless, really, because you've been the one that's put this collection together.
I haven't bought it for an investment. I bought it just because I like it. And I really started back as a kid. I had all the dinky toys, but they never last. I don't know where they went.
Dinky toys weren't as exciting. They weren't doing many Corvettes. You'd get like a truck or a cement mixer or something. It wasn't.
Well, later on, they got into Corvettes, and they did have Rivieras.
True.
And some Country Squire wagons and DeSotos and stuff. But they went missing, and then I started building model kits. And I don't know how they survived. I still have model kits I built with my best friend, who actually we were best men at each other's weddings. And we built these kits back in like 64, 65, 66. I still have them. And that was sort of the start. And then...
Do you have them on display somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can show them.
Yeah, well...
And then in the 80s, I got involved in a Corvette shop, and I started collecting some Hot Wheels. And then my partner, I'm competitive, as you probably can tell.
I can tell.
He'd get one. Gee, I've got this one. Have you got it? No. So I go out and find it, and I'd find, gee, do you have this one? And then that started with Hot Wheels. And then in the 90s, Ertl came out with the American Muscle series of the 1/18 scale. And I thought, those were pretty cool. And I remember going to a swap meet, and there was a guy selling them. And I thought, you know what, I got to have these. So I bought one of every one he had. I think I walked out with like 10 or 12 right at that one time. And then he was quite happy. I made his day at that swap meet. And then, of course, they were pretty available at Toys R Us back then. You could walk into Toys R Us and get them. And then I was a partner in a business, and I ended up in the 90s. And we had an operation in Houston. So I'd be going down to Houston 3 or 4 times a year. And I'd go on a Saturday because that was it was cheaper to fly Saturday and pay for an extra hotel room than to fly during the week. But my first stop was the Toys R Us in Houston. So I'd go into the Toys R Us, load up, and there was times I shipped boxes back of die casts that I found because I couldn't get them up here.
So that's the moment the twig snapped and got you hooked, was that first batch of 1/18 scale and the Hot Wheels.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and now here you are in this beautiful room of collectibles, and you even got some of the old AFX sets down here too.
Yeah, original Corvette race car sets. They're specifically Corvette.
Okay.
And talking about antiques, I was at the... ever been to the junk cellar on White Avenue?
Yeah, I have.
I think that's some pretty neat stuff. So I'm down there, and I see this trophy. And I think, that is a cool trophy. Now I look at it. It's from the West Wind Oval Sourdough 100. Well, that was a huge race up here. We've got a lot of guys from the States. And if you look, in 1970, Tom Sneevil won it. Well, Tom Sneevil went on to be the first guy to qualify at 200 miles an hour at Indianapolis. So then I was at an auction, and I got an autographed picture of him. There's an article about him in this Vintage Motorsports magazine. and then I got a die cast of one of the cars he raced at Indy.
That's pretty cool, that because the junk seller is not necessarily known to sell car stuff. They're kind of like any sort of old thing, I guess. But what an outstanding thing to find down there. I mean, I wonder if they knew what they had, or, I mean, it sure ended up in the right home. You knew what it was.
I just bought the trophy there. I bought the other stuff at other places.
Oh, I know, but I mean, the trophy is like...
And it was like $30.
That's the thing everybody would want, is the trophy. I mean, people had, you know, well, you know, you race cars. That's the glory right there.
Well, and it was fun walking down White Avenue with it. Everybody's congratulating me. Good job. What did you win? You know, I just bought this, you know.
Well, you almost needed a trophy for finding the trophy.
Yeah.
For best collectible. Well, what a great score. But, yeah, geez, it keeps on going. And so the room continues. We've got the slot cars over here. We've got some signs.
That was when I used to own Legend Race Cars of Alberta.
Right, and Legends race cars look sort of like an old-fashioned race car, but they're based on a newer chassis. And they're what, like 3/4 scale?
They're 5/8 scale.
5/8 scale.
They're a custom made, and they're unique, and they're made with a Yamaha motorcycle engine.
Oh, okay.
They're 5 feet wide, 10 feet long. But they still will do over 200 kilometers an hour and do 13s in the quarter mile. So they were fast. At Race City in Calgary, when I raced in the series, we were only a second slower than CASCAR with the big NASCAR type cars on timing, on the lap times.
So were you taking around the track yourself too at that time?
Well, I raced them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I raced at the Asphalt Nationals in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Is that you?
Yeah, I qualified.
That's your helmet in there?
That's me racing.
That's you. Well, I'll have to take your word for it. But mind you, the helmet, I think, is, I'm sure we'll probably spot it around here somewhere.
Well, there's a helmet up top there.
Oh, yeah, that's it right there?
Yeah. And then here's my race driving suit.
Wow, that's fantastic. No, I can honestly say I've only ever been around a go-kart track, and I thought I was the bee's knees then. And I can't imagine the feeling it would be to be an actual race car driver like yourself. So,
well, it was a lot of fun. I've done a lot of Corvette racing, individual times around tracks, but I wanted to race with cars all around me. So I started that when I was 50 years old. And it's something to be at like Wetaskiwin at Edmonton International Raceway with 25 of these cars going around that quarter-mile track. And, you know, these people say, oh, you just turn left, you just turn left. It's not that easy because you've got cars behind you, beside you, in front of you, and you don't get to turn where you want to all the time.
Oh, I wouldn't think so.
So this is the race room, as you can probably tell.
I can tell. So, and you've got other rooms with stuff in it too?
Yeah.
Man, and Jackie O's here for the duration.
That's signed by, that's the C5 Corvette that was at the Daytona 24 Hours. That was the year Earnhardt raced the number 3 Corvette, and Ron Fellows gave up the 3 to him, and he raced the number 2, and it's autographed by all the drivers.
Wow. Yeah, that was a sad turn of events for that family, yes. For the Earnhardt family.
And this is the final room. Not much in here, but...
Wow. You managed to make away with the A&W Cruising the Dub sign.
Yes, I talked an A&W out of it. I'm not sure they were supposed to sell that to me, but I said, the promotion's up, what are you doing with it? Well, we don't know. I said, can I buy it? And sure.
So off it went.
And then I was at a gift shop on White Avenue by where pigs can fly, and they had this Track Star display. And I said, so what are you doing with it after the holiday season? Because it wasn't a common thing they'd have in that gift store.
Right.
They said, well, I don't know, we're probably just going to throw it out. I said, well, could I buy it? And they said, give a donation to the SPCA, which I did. And I brought it home. Well,
that's a great way to do it, too. Saves it from the landfill, because a lot of these places just throw this stuff out. And it's got this great racing sort of theme going on. I can see why you liked it. You know, this is one thing that a lot of people really like, these drive-in trays, too. Mm-hmm. You see them at the car shows. I think your burger's got a little stale, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if what is this, foam?
Yeah.
That's funny. You had me almost fooled. I was more disturbed that I touched it and it was still squishy. Oh, isn't that great? So does this mean we might get a chance to see what you drive come summertime?
Sure.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So the garage is tall enough that you were able to get lifts in here.
If it wasn't, I wouldn't have bought the house.
I'm going to close your door so we don't let all the cold air in, but... Well, what is this, a 63 at the top here?
66.
66, okay. Well, silly me. I mean,
No, they're same body style.
But I know there's probably like, oh, the marker lenses are in a different spot. They always
got different vents on the side.
Oh, see, there you go.
It's not a split window.
I always get beaten up on that when I do these like junkyard tours, and I say, oh, I think that's a 63 Mercury, and somebody say that's a 64 because it's got different signal lights, and I go, well, heck, it's a junkyard car. I'm doing my best, but these certainly aren't. That is a showstopper right there. I'm going to see if I can get a better angle. So what can you tell me about the 66 up top here?
That is a Pro Touring Resto mod. So it's got a custom chassis underneath. It was built in California. It's got a C4 suspension, LS1, 6-speed Dana rear end, vintage heat and air. It was built by California Customs. It's been featured in 2 Corvette magazines, Vet Magazine and Corvette Online. It's won Good Guys Awards, Award of Excellence and Roaster Shop Style and Engineering Award. Won 4 awards at the ISCA Custom Car Shows.
This car?
Yeah.
Wow. You didn't buy this locally then?
I bought it out of Calgary. It was out of an estate. Somehow it ended up in Edmonton.
Oh, really?
In Canada.
This seems like a Hershey kind of car.
Yeah, or Barrett Jackson.
Yeah.
I bought it. It didn't look this good. I did some changes to it. I bought it and then put another $40,000 into it, doing some touch-ups and modifications.
So it's
I race it all the time. I've been Western Canadian slalom champion with it 3 times in the last 8 years with it, and yeah, it's a lot. Take it to local car shows and stuff. But when you win at Good Guys or ISCA, to me that's when it's really, tells you how good the car is. And even at that Mid America, 5,000 Corvettes were there. Ken Lingenfelter. I don't know if you know who Ken Lingenfelter is.
I'm not familiar, no.
He owns Lingenfelter Engineering. He picked it as a celebrity choice. Now, I'll give you an idea. He has a collection. He was listed, I forget if Road and Track or Motor Trend, where they talk about guys, who do they call, like when they make these limited edition Ferraris or Bugattis, they make 10, but they know there's 20 guys that they can sell them to. Who are the first guys they phone? He's one of those 4 guys. So he's got a collection of Ferraris, F40, Enzos. He's got a Bugatti Veyron. Those are like $2.5 million.
And this was one of his favorite cars at the show.
He picked it at the show.
Wow. Well, that's quite the honor to have.
Yeah.
It looks pristine, but it's not the only cool car in here. I see a couple. You got a theme: red, 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 and one white. This looks like what, a Buick Regal or something?
That's an '84 Monte Carlo SS.
Okay.
It's all original. I've been looking for about 6 years for one of those, and they're getting hard to find. And I found it a year ago in Calgary.
And so this is the same body style as the Grand National, isn't it?
Grand National, yeah, and the Buick Regal and the Olds Cutlass. They were all G bodies.
But I should have known because it has a Monte Carlo crest on the front end.
Yeah, and it does say Monte Carlo SS on the side.
Yeah, I guess this is when good old Alex can walk around and actually see that the name is right on the car, if I would have been so wise. The condition looks fantastic.
It's all original paint.
This is original paint.
Yeah, original interior.
It looks like brand new. Oh, yeah.
Got that 80s plastic smell.
Yeah, I know that smell. But that's a smell of a well-kept 80s car. When you can still have the waft of plastic and plastic veneer shoot back at you, you know it was a well-kept 80s car. Yep. They should sell that as a cologne and sell it to car guys.
Yes.
Different, you'd have like the smell of the hides of an old Jag or an MG and
burning rubber.
Burning rubber.
Fuel.
See, we should get into the cologne business.
There we go. Yeah, I think there's a market.
Wow. How many miles are on this one?
It just turned, what have we got, 90,000 kilometers on it?
90,000 kilometers, that's like 70,000 miles or something like that.
55,000 miles.
55,000 original miles. Yeah. Wow.
Alberta car all its life. And
you can even put kids in the back seat too.
Yeah.
You could tell your wife. It's a family car. That's
right.
it.
Well, I had one back in the early 90s. It was our family car and everyday driver year round, one of these.
And we've got a slightly newer next to us.
Yeah. That's a 99.
Z06?
No, just a straight coupe.
Okay.
I bought it off a friend in Calgary. It just has 80,000 kilometers on it.
Oh, great shape.
I'm going to be selling the 66 in the next year or two.
Oh.
It's always been part of my retirement planning, as opposed to just having money sitting in investments and stuff. I got some cars, and so I bought this to keep afterwards.
Oh, I see. It's replacement.
Yeah.
If I was this car, I'd be mad and be like dumping oil on this one going, oh, who do you think you are going to replace me someday?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, look, you know it's a good car when you're not worried about parking another Corvette underneath it.
Yeah, well, plus I got all this protection.
Oh, yeah, that helps too.
No, but the car, if you get up underneath there, you can see it's pretty clean underneath for a straight-driven car.
For a race car, yeah, this thing is immaculate. What a beauty. So what's something, I have to ask, what's something like the 66 Corvette, what would that go for?
It should go in the neighborhood of about 110 to 115 US.
Okay.
To replace it, I met when I was at San Diego a couple of years ago at the Good Guys event, I met Greg Thurman, who owns GTS Customs, who built the car. And to go get this replaced today, I got to give him a good donor car, which is about 40 to 50 grand because you want a good one to start with, and 125,000. So that's 175,000 US.
So you'd be saving money by buying one like this.
Yeah,
really.
but it's used. I mean, it's got 22,000 miles on it, but it's proven, it's reliable, it's competitive. I've gone through it, not that I had to do much, but so, I mean, I'd drive it anywhere other than it's not the most comfortable car to be in for long term.
Right, but it's probably puts a big smile on your face though.
Oh, all the time.
And you got a Camaro up here too.
Yeah, I bought that new in 2012.
I can't, you know, it's hard to see in the garage, but it looks like it's in great shape.
Well, it's only got 70,000 kilometers, but I drive it.
Wow.
It's a Z01. It's the first year they came out. Only 40 came to Western Canada in 2012. So it's gutless by today's standard. It only has 580 horsepower.
Oh, only 580 horsepower.
The new ones have 650. But it goes good enough.
I would think so. That's a pretty impressive car collection. I appreciate you showing it to me.
And I'm actually dealing on another one right now. I don't know where I'm going to park it. You got an extra space in your garage?
You know, I would take that one. Maybe.
The one I'm buying would be, I think, right up your alley.
Really? What are you getting?
If I get it. It's a period, it's like a time warp, going back to a time zone to the 50s. It's a 52 Chev Club Coupe, two-door. And it's got the original 6-cylinder in it. It's got Fenton split manifold, so it has dual exhausts, fender skirts, spotlight, 3 on the tree.
Oh, okay.
Wide white walls. It's just like the hot rods that you'd have back in like 1954.
Like an American Graffiti kind of car.
Yep.
Oh, very cool. Well, you have to show me that one. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you that it works out.
And it's red.
Oh, of course.
Not that it's just that's the color they end up being.
Yeah, well, hey, when you like red. Well, thank you so much for showing me the cars. I mean, this collection is absolutely stellar, but what are your plans for it? Now that you've put this lifetime collection together, what are the plans?
Well, I'm going to enjoy it for a little while, but I would eventually like to hopefully find some collector or car museum that would like to acquire it and keep it together as a collection and show it. I mean, part of the enjoyment of having this is showing it. I mean, I'm careful who I show it to, like it's not open to the public. But if I could get someone who would like to have it and display it and have it, I think that would be a really neat thing, because I think it'd be hard to replicate this collection. So
if I have some big Corvette or some big car enthusiast who's like, man, I'd buy that whole collection, they can reach out to me and I can send their info along to you?
Yep.
Okay.
No problem. I did a quick count before you came. It's not that accurate, but I've got one between 1/18th, 1/20th, 1/12th, and 1/43rd, over 1,000 pieces. And then I've got for 1/24th, 1/24th, 1/18th, 1/20th, 1/12th, over 1,000. And if you take 1/43rd and 1/64th, which is like the Hot Wheels and these little ones here, I've got probably 1,400+ of those. So thousands and thousands of cars. Yeah, so and then I've got like 250 model kits unbuilt. Well, and I can see like the quality really is here, because you bought some of the American Muscle, but you've got a lot of the really high-end stuff too. And that's nice to see in a collection. You know, when you first kind of showed me some of the pictures, the first thing I said is, yeah, that's kind of a heavy hitter collection for me to bite into. But you know what? Somebody is going to think that this is just an absolutely stellar opportunity. And a lot are autographed. Yeah, like, that's the thing, the autograph stuff like too. These are autographed by Reeves Callaway. I met him at an event. Oh, okay. So that's the Reeves Callaway limited edition. Do you have anything Shelby autographed too? Or? Yeah, I've got one of the Shelby Mustangs autographed. Okay. And then I've got, this is all autographed by Corvette plant people. I met him at a Corvette event in Effingham, Illinois, Corvette Fun Fest. Then those 3 are autographed by Will Cooks. He was a plant manager. And then there was an article in the Corvette magazine.
Oh, yeah.
And so I picked out the cars I had in my die-cast collection that matched the article and had him autographed. I met him at a Corvette event.
So when you go to events, you're just packing duffel bags full of cars to get them autographed.
Yes, yeah, I am.
But you know, that adds a lot of value, especially to a collector, to have, especially, you know, like the Back to the Future, and, you know, like Carroll Shelby's passed away. He's not signing stuff. And
yeah.
A lot of these guys, they're legends, and it's great that you captured that and had that moment to meet them too. So, well, thank you very much. And I guess if I get any leads on people who are interested in this collection, I will send them your way. But thank you so much for showing the collection. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you.
It's been great to see you too and get to know you, Alec.
Yeah, well, great to get to know you too.
And this is just beginning. You need to show a couple of quick things.
Okay.
So when I was at your shop, I had to buy those albums, Shutdown and Little Deuce Coupe.
Yes.
The Beach Boys.
Yes, yeah.
Do they not fit?
They fit perfectly.
And then I've got another one that is really neat. I bought that Ripcords.
Oh, yeah.
Little Cobra.
Sometimes the covers are cooler than the...
Well, that was what got me. So I've got it here in my Carroll Shelby section.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then here's the bang die cast of that actual car that's in the album.
Isn't that cool? Just putting the pieces together.
Yeah, and I've done a lot of that in here. So I've got magazine articles of some of these cars with the cars and things like that. So it's like a little mini museum.
It is, you know, and everything is just so beautiful. I can't thank you enough again for having me over. It's been an absolute joy to see, and an absolute joy. I mean, heck, how cool is that? I mean, if somebody buys this collection, is the couch included? Is that could be? Wow.
Yeah, if we buy this, do a deal, and I'll sell all the artwork. That's a Savage Design limited print of the last, the only Corvette Dale Earnhardt race, the year he died. Daytona, and then I've got the 112 GMP.
Man, yeah, you've got some beautiful stuff. Well, you're gonna have to come by the store and visit again soon.
Yes, I will.
Well, have a lovely day, and I'm sure everybody watching is gonna think this is a really cool collection. So I know I do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I'm back home now, and what a great visit with Tom. Fantastic collection, great guy, and a great wealth of knowledge when it comes to all things Corvette and hot rod. You don't meet many race car drivers that started their career at the age of 50, but it gives me inspiration that I'm not quite there yet, but when I do, maybe I can hit the track myself and have some fun. Hope you guys enjoyed today's tour, today's video. Make sure to subscribe to watch more videos, and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.